Can kidney stones be dissolved naturally?
Well, today is a day of questions about stones. Now, kidney stones are very different than other kinds of stones. Um, they do, however, also come in just a few different categories. For example, many tiny stones, which basically means individual glomeruli or individual filters in the kidney have gotten sludged up and calcified. Generally, it's too much calcium that induces the stones. Sometimes it's a big, what's called renal calculus, and there are pictures of these aggregations of calcium and other materials, phosphates and tiny proteins get mixed up in this matrix. And for many years, the standard of care was to remove large kidney stones. Then they found out that there were many complications, infectious complications and other complications, hormonal complications in those people. And so now there is a return to physiology and patience. Fortitude is the operative word, because you only form kidney stones when you have an unhealthy urine, a urine where you're pulling too much calcium out of bones and large blood vessels and joints. And the reason you're pulling this calcium and other minerals, including magnesium and potassium, the reason you're pulling these minerals is because the diet has too much acid at the end of metabolism. And if I translate that into a more understandable language, it means that you have a diet too high in fat, too high in sugar, too low in complex carbohydrate, and too low in sensible balance that whole foods provide. A good rule of thumb, if you want to restore healthy kidney function, which goes along with metabolic syndrome, by the way. So you very often find people have anywhere from 5 to 50 extra pounds of weight compared to what their healthy weight would be. That they do tend to be a little more sedentary. They don't drink quite as much water as they should. What I suggest to people in regard to kidney stone, either prevention or management, is you start out by putting a carafe of water on your desk and a glass. If the glass is full, you drink it. If the glass is empty, you fill it, and you do that all day. And that translates into going to the bathroom every couple of hours. Then you add things that will slowly and effectively dissolve kidney stones. And that very specifically is the C cleanse, what we recommend as a way of determining how much ascorbate, or commonly known as vitamin C, you need. But you want the 100% L fully buffered, fully reduced form of ascorbate. And you want that based on your C cleanse or whatever your professional suggests. And then you want to add other repair stimulating agents so that the tiny blood vessels, the tiny loops where the urine is concentrated, the tiny filters, the glomerulus, the loop of Henle, for those of you who are technical, that when you have kidney stones, you're saying that there's been a long and profound metabolic imbalance, and the body is trying to get rid of extra acid, but it's doing that with minerals that buffer the acid and protect the kidney, but then precipitate in the urine that is generally a little too concentrated. Why? Because the people with kidney stones tend to not drink enough water. And by the way, if they say they don't like water, ask about herbal beverages. Anything that, how about lime juice, fresh squeezed lime, or fresh squeezed lemon, or a slice of apple or orange in with the water, something to make it a little more interesting and appetizing, but based on whole foods and based on the results of LRA by ELISA ACT tests, so that you're exposing yourself only to the foods and situations that you can digest, assimilate, and eliminate without immune burden. And that then mobilizes your immune defense and repair system to get in and repair at the molecular cellular level in the kidney, while you are dissolving the kidney stones with the help of ascorbate. And I will add, because this is a very common sub-question, people have misunderstood the importance of vitamin C And because vitamin C, to a small extent, is converted into oxalic acid, and oxalate or oxalic acid is a component of many kidney stones, the misinformation went out through literature that people with kidney stones should avoid ascorbate because of this oxalate issue. Having looked at this issue and been involved with it at least since the mid-1970s, I can tell you for sure that the oxalate pathway saturates at a very low level. You can measure oxalate in the urine if you want to act out of an excess of caution to make sure that I'm correct. And if you find the second person in the world that has a genetic error of oxalate metabolism, please let me know, and that should be published. However, I can also tell you personally that a number of physician colleagues who had multiple kidney stones and were acolytes of the joy of living the alkaline way and nature, nurture, and wholeness, showed me the scans, showed me the studies, showed me with great delight the fact that they had individually dissolved their kidney stones. And I believe it is possible for people to do, although plan a year or two to dissolve kidney stones. They won't dissolve overnight. They won't dissolve in a couple of weeks. But over a couple of years, you can rehabilitate the kidneys in ways that preserve kidney function or improve kidney function rather than increasing risk of kidney decline.